Hi, I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer, your host for Make It Artsy. And now that it's all built, it's time to step out to the grand opening celebration. We'll make a handy jewelry holder from wood and clay. And Candie Cooper is here to show us exactly how.
I can't wait.
So these are super cute. I love this one that you've added the succulent to. It sort of is that outside, inside nature thing, you know? And then, oh my gosh, I actually looked at this and I was like, Candie, you know, that looks like a gnome. And you were like, thank you, Julie. It's supposed to be.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the thing is I make a lot of jewelry, so to make storage for it, it was kind of a fun challenge.
Well, I also love that you can display your jewelry so it's not away in a drawer. It's out for everybody to see the magic that you've made.
Totally. So what I did is I just kind of walked around the craft store and the internet craft stores and just looked for fun surfaces to build these things. It all started with a cone, and then you can work with boxes. These are obviously plant dishes, yeah, cork, whatever. But let's make the gnome one, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do to get started is color the wood. And let's see, nope, I don't want that side. I want the whiter side. And all you're gonna do is just color directly onto the wood. I didn't treat it, it's just unfinished wood.
So I assumed you were gonna paint it like we're gonna do a brush and the paint and the whole thing and blah, 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 blah. But I can see you're using a paint marker instead. And is this just because of quicker drying time, or what's the reason?
It dries fast. You can make these with teens. It's easy, like.
Oh, I never thought about that, but definitely with kids and stuff like that, or if you had to transport it on the mess, much less mess.
Yeah, I love paint and all, but I'll get into it a little bit more when we work on the flat dish. But you're just gonna give that complete coverage.
So that's obviously a really porous surface, but I can see that the color is sitting nicely just sort of right on top there.
Totally. And then this is actually a napkin ring that I transformed into the little gnomes.
Napkin ring.
Yeah, the gnome's
Clever
body.
girl.
And then you kind of want to put, just like when you paint, you want to put your lighter color down first, you know? And I even kind of like, I'll even overlap and touch one of the colors, the black or whatever.
The thing is, I always like it when my stuff looks handmade. I don't like it when it looks manufactured, so I'm always interested in showing my hand.
Yeah. It's like, for real, I get you.
It's totally one of those things. And you know, the reason that you can go over stuff obviously too is because obviously these are opaque and they're gonna cover.
Yeah, and like this one I used white on the finished one, but I gave it a lot more fuller coverage. Like you can go around and just doodle. I mean, these are really, like the clay dishes are awesome just for doodling. Look at that.
Super cool and really forgiving, and I can see that you just went right over the design that you had, and it doesn't matter. So if you change your mind, and I'm legendary for changing my mind, I don't know about
Woman's prerogative, yeah, yeah.
So it really allows you to just do whatever you'd like to do, and I'm actually surprised at how well it writes on clay.
Me too. And then, so another thing, metallic is like one of my love languages.
I was gonna say, it can't be a Candie Cooper project without a little bit of bling in some way.
I can't help myself.
I was gonna say, it wouldn't be a Candie Cooper project without a little bit of bling-a-bling. So you're depressing the tip to basically get the paint to flow into that tip.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting low so I can just watch it kind of
turn from white to gold. And this is something you only need to do, obviously, the first time that you use it. And usually I go totally lazy method, which is I like how you're looking at the tip, but I just I wait to see until there's a gold spot, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it went.
Do you hold it down?
I don't. I just stamp like a crazy
There
person.
we go. See, it was like a watch pot. It was when I stopped looking that it started flowing. So really easy. Now the white tip's gone. We're ready to go. So now I just want to highlight some of these little triangles.
And by the way, one of the things I love is it's not like you're going like super carefully and taking your time, and you're making triangles happen. If it's a little bit off, who cares? This is handmade and awesome, right?
Right. And so if you want like finer details, cool. I mean, it's just like the more quirky, the better for this little gnome piece, I think.
And now I see you're using a big fat silver, so I can see obviously the difference in the size there.
Yeah, and this is what makes it fun. Little variation, and you can even switch back to your gold and go back over it. I mean, it's just like, it's
just
really
back and forth however you want.
Yeah.
And you know, I love to use also the big tips for doing polka dots because it's really fast and easy.
I love it. So now we're just gonna switch over to
using some hot glue.
I know.
Hot glue is definitely like one of those things whenever I'm like, what adhesive should I use? Hot glue almost always holds things together.
It's true, and it's like, This is a part where you could also use like a white tacky glue or something.
You could use a
like
wood
that.
glue. This
Wood
is obviously
glue.
wood. I mean, you could use a lot of different stuff. It's just this is the easiest thing.
And you don't have to anchor your little guy down, but you can.
Oh, so if you wanted him to be movable in the dish, you obviously could not glue it down.
Yeah, and guess what I forgot? The most important part. I just cut a little heart shape out of white leather.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on breaking shapes down. You know what I mean? To get it so it's not like, oh, I'm trying to cut a perfect beard. It's kind of fun to think of it as just like a little shape.
Oh, it's just a heart. That's such a I never would have thought that a beard is a heart, but that's so clever.
Oh, it's so easy.
Well, and the other thing is I can see now, so you've obviously, you've made a boy gnome with a beard. I mean, I suppose it could be a girl gnome with a beard. Yeah. But you could make, like, you know, add pigtails to it. You could add googly eyes. You could totally do all sorts of fun stuff.
I noticed around, I don't know, maybe last year gnomes started popping up really big time, and I just like those little Scandinavian style gnomes with no eyes, very minimal. I love that aesthetic.
Super cute. And if we look back here, first I want to take a peek at your gnome, and I can see that you've put a ring on the cap, and then you have a bracelet in the dish part.
Yeah.
And then over here on the larger one that's done on wood, again, you've put a bracelet around the base here. Now, this gold, I assume, was also paint marker.
The chunky metallic pen.
Okay, cool. And I can see all sorts of rings and fun stuff, and certainly it makes it so that we can see all the beautiful jewelry that you're making.
With a touch of woodland.
I love it.